A very good evening, everybody. This is Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David, on a grey and very gusty day here. It is 19 degrees. That's about the only good news. It's been gusting 15 to 20, gusts higher than that to 25. But at the moment it's down to the 15 to, well, it might be a bit over 20, but anyway, it's north-northwest, very blustery, 50% cloud cover. Actually, it's more than that now too. It's just changed in the last 10 minutes. So, but we don't mind about that. New Zealand has had an absolutely stunning weekend. We have a new government, which is pretty spectacular, a very big landslide. We don't really know the details because there are still 550,000 special votes from people overseas out of their electorate, and that's a lot of people because National and ACT at the moment are one short of having a majority. So if those special votes favour National and ACT, there will be not a problem, but if they don't, they might have to call on a vote from Winston. But anyway, that's what's happened. It has been quite dramatic. There's just a huge swing to national, just a swing for change, really, I think. But the big news, of course, was the rugby. I have never watched a more exciting and very good game of rugby football. It was absolutely stunning between the All Blacks and Ireland. And boy, the last few minutes when time was up and the Irish were on the All Blacks line so close, just passing, tackling, passing, tackled, passing, tackled. It was very, very nerve-wracking. But anyway, it was one of those matches where you sort of thought that a draw would have been fair, but of course that's not possible in a tournament. And the All Blacks won 28 to 24. So that has been a good, stunning start for our day here. The other game was very exciting as well. Argentina came back from behind twice to beat Wales, 29 to 17. Now this is absolutely remarkable that the Southern Hemisphere has actually done so well, because the pundits were saying that it was going to be a all Northern Hemisphere set of semi-finals and final. And there is a possibility tomorrow, with England playing Fiji, that there will be another Southern Hemisphere winner. So very, very exciting times in the Rugby World Cup. New Zealand's next game is, of course, against Argentina next week. The other game is France versus South Africa, so that will be a very interesting one. So all in all, sporting and elections has just dominated our news today. So the votes on passage all seem to be doing rather well, with a bit more wind than they had. And let's get on with it. We'll talk to Mintaka first. Mintaka, Gulf Harbour Radio.
This is Mintaka. How do you copy?
Surprisingly well. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, it's just an exciting time. We've just been through a 25, 28 knot rain squall. And we're out the other side of that now. Our position is 3307, 17303. We're staying at course 175 true. Our ocean conditions are 1.5 meters swell. We're moving along at about 9 knots at the moment. The wind is from the northwest, and the wind has dropped now to northeast 15 to 18. Our ETA to Opua is tomorrow, midday. We're 125 miles out at the moment. Over.
Well, and I promise you things will be a lot better than they have been in the last few hours. 25 to 28 squally winds, so they're through that front. And Mintaka is now in position 3307, 17303 east, on a course of 175 true at 9 knots. Must be almost a rooster tail behind you guys. 1.5 metres swell. The wind has dropped to a manageable 15 to 18. You've got 125 miles to go, and that will put you in there very civilised midday tomorrow. So well done, guys. Over.
Yeah, all is well here.
Okay, so nothing damage. Well, you knew what was coming up, didn't you? Hang on, David's muttering something.
Just very well. Winds 10 to 15 out of the north.
10 to 15 out of the north, all the way home. You can't really ask for better than that. Oh, yes, you can. You can ask for dolphins. Back to you, Phil.
Yeah, and even with one day that we pulled in a 25-kilogram tuna just before the squall came through, so that's now in the fridge also.
Oh, goodness, just what the doctor ordered to keep everyone well fed for a long time, 25 kilograms. And it must have been a bit of a rush to get it bled out and cut up and all the rest of it with the weather coming. But, well, you guys have had a rather active 24 hours, so it's good that the wind has settled for the evening, and you'll just have a much better day tomorrow, even some sunshine, so that will be good. All right, have a good landfall, and good to talk to you. So cheers to all on board Mintaka, and we'll go to the Magic Dragon. And David seems to be pretty excited about your future. Go ahead, Josh.
This is the Magic Dragon, David. I just copy on up. We're going well. We're pretty much due to the three teams at this stage. The thing right now we're to a weekly really, that's the thing pretty awful moment. Headache cloud cover, a weekly 12 about a metre. We're hitting about 200 degree true, that's 6 knots. Position is 32 degrees, 23 minutes south, 172 degrees, 50, being 1020.
Yep, I've got all of that. So the wind is southwest, backing southwest, west 10 to 20. That'll keep you on the jib sheets. 8/8 cloud with a westerly swell of 1 metre, steering at 200 true at 6 knots. Not steering, I should be a bit more precise. Your course is 200 true at 6 knots. And Magic Dragon is now at 32 degrees, 23 south, 172 degrees, 50 east, 1020. You didn't mention rain, but I presume that came at some stage. And David's pretty excited. I'm going to pass the microphone because he was, it was almost as exciting as the rugby to find out that every model he looked at said, you are good to go. Anyway, here he is.
Yeah, hi there, Josh. Very, very interesting. I'm just going to give a little synoptic, very quick discussion about what's going on. It's really kind of amazing. It's all going to be in your favor, knowing that you're going down the west side of New Zealand, and it was quite worrisome to me in the beginning. So on Monday, tomorrow, the depression forms at about 3155 east. So we've got quite a bit of upper level activity, and it has formed between the two big highs that we've got. Then early on Tuesday, the low is going to be just west of the fjords of the South Island. Now that doesn't sound like that's going to be a good idea for you, but then what happens is very late on Tuesday, it elongates more or less north-south, a little bit different than that, but for talking purposes, we'll just call it north-south, and it develops two centers. And then even later on Tuesday, the southern low is absorbed, and suddenly we have now the main depression is going to be located at about 35 and 158, if you can believe that. This is kind of amazing for you. Then it goes north, and by Thursday it's going to be at 30 and about we'll call it about 160. This is for anybody else that's coming down too. Anyhow, then by Friday, it moves due north of New Zealand, and it's going to be at 30 and 175 east, so just north of Rianga and North Cape. And then on Saturday, it's going to be over East Cape, so it's moving all over the place. But it's going to enable your trip down to Nelson to be possible, which I had my doubts when I first looked at it. So I think if everything goes according to what the models say, and I looked at 4 of them, I think you will have a reasonably good trip, staying fairly close in, and getting down to New Plymouth and then on to Nelson. And there's probably going to be a few squally areas, a few areas of quite fresh winds, and seas are going to be between 3 and 3.5 meters. So the seas are going to be up considerably, but I think you already knew that. But the wind direction, though, is going to be with you. So it's rather amazing that you have a lucky star. You should buy a lottery ticket. Over.
You're probably all of that. Yep, that sounds very amazing, isn't it? Kind of a sneaky, lucky little kind of a thing where, yeah, we got the heat service postal bulletin and forecast through the limit today, and that all sounded pretty good. So we've 12 being a long period, according to the gradually easing. Yeah, so normally from Monday, Monday, right through Tuesday and into Wednesday, so into Tuesday night, it sounds pretty much like what you've been looking at. So great to hear that overall prognosis. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And bear in mind that things can change, and they have been changing too. But anyway, with the advent of quite a few of the models in green, we have a pretty good chance that everything is going to be accurate, what I've said, reasonably so. So anyway, if we lose you because of your closeness,
we'll get a relay.
We'll get a relay from somebody or something or other. But anyway, have a safe rest of the trip, and hopefully we'll talk to you tomorrow anyway. So, okay, cheers, and here's the chief.
Yeah, for those that are puzzled, Magic Dragon is heading home to Nelson, so it is quite surprising to be able to do such a long trip without too much trouble around New Zealand. So let's hope that it stays that way for the boats that are coming south this week, quite a few of you, and one of those might be Rapaki, I suspect. Anyway, let's move on from the Magic Dragon to Invictus, Gulf Harbour. Oh, you're quite light tonight, Elle, but perfectly clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're at 29 degrees, 41 south. I think reading today's position, 32 degrees, 19 minutes south, 153 degrees, 52 minutes east, during 158 music, sitting off the boat speed, 12 knots of wind, and we're probably going to get very wet.
Okay, I need your degrees of latitude again, over.
32 degrees, 19 minutes.
Okay, got that. Invictus is at 3219, 17352 east, on a course of 158 magnetic at 6 knots, and I guess the wind is 24, which is interesting, folks, because if you're looking at GFS, it doesn't say that. It says it's 15 knots, and other people have been telling us that it's been more than the GFS model as well. So rather wetting for those on Invictus at the moment, but be assured it's moving through quite quickly. Over.
Okay, yeah, thanks for sure. We're down to 6.9 knots with true wind speed now, and we're in the Alpha country. and confirm that. And let the people know they have a magic trip.
Yes, they certainly have a magic trip. I guess it sort of suits the boat name, doesn't it?
The front is going to
Hang
go
on.
through. Just for the rest of you who are a little bit lagging on where Invictus is, that front is still scheduled to go through New Zealand on Wednesday. That's the 18th, I think. Runs pretty much north-south, and that's what I can see. So you're going to have certainly quite fresh winds, probably gale force gusts, and plenty of rain in this funnel band. But it's going to move through fairly quickly as well. So probably by I would say late Wednesday into Thursday, it will certainly be clear of, I think, the Opua area. It's still, we actually are going to cop it here at Gulf Harbor on Thursday as it slides down the country. But I think between North Cape and Opua, maybe Marsden, it should be clear. And that's Thursday the 19th. Okay, back to the chief.
Okay, well, those on Invictus are probably putting on their foul weather gear at the moment. Other than the weather, is all well, Al, over? Okay, yeah, very light copy on you for some reason tonight. Okay, clear with Invictus and on to Vendetta.
Gulf Harbor, this is Vendetta. Are you receiving over?
Yeah, good copy, Paul. Go ahead.
Yes, Richard. This evening our position is 32 degrees 22 south, 171 degrees 18 east. We have a speed of 4 decimal 8 knots and motor sailing and a course of 130 degrees N. The wind is 8 to 10 knots from the northwest, well, 1.8 metres from the northwest. Got a cloud cover of 50%. Over.
Okay, we have Vendetta 3222 south, 17118 east with boat speed of 4.8 on the motor on a course of 130 magnetic, 8 to 10 knots northwest and 1.8 swell from the northwest and 60% cloud cover. So you would have heard what's happening there, and yeah, you'll be looking forward to the sunshine when it comes. Over.
We're looking forward to some breeze when it turns up. We're getting a little tired of listening to the sound of the engine.
Hang on a minute. What's the breeze situation? David's just having a look and wants a minute to sort through that. I'm going to just natter for a minute because the other boats are coming in from a slightly different direction, and the situation is a bit different for them. Okay, here's some wind news.
Yeah, well, I think we'll have a little bit more tomorrow. From what I can see, north to north-northwest, about maybe 13 up to maybe 16, 17 knots. So that should help. I know people don't like the wind behind them, we don't, but at least it's wind. Over.
Yeah, you're quite right. At least it's wind. Yeah, we're quite happy that's behind us. The moving of that sort of wind speed.
Yep, we'll just have to make sure that Iron Jenny just does its job. I know it's noisy, but that's what it's there for. All right, we'll clear with you guys, see what you get tomorrow. And Not Tied Down is not too far away from you, and it looks like they might be really using their engine. Not Tied Down, go ahead, Nathan, over.
Yeah, this is Not Tied Down. We've got a pretty broken reception with you, Gulf Harbor. Do you read?
Yes, I've got good copy on you. I suspect your engine is creating a bit of alternator noise. Go ahead. Good copy, over.
Okay, thanks, good. Patricia. So yeah, we are on the motor only. We are just fiddling along on the motor, but travelling at 8.3 knots at the moment, so it's got a good current in our favour, which we take. The wind speed here is about 6 or 7 knots from the west, and we are travelling at on a course of 121 magnetic. Current position 3331 south, 17211 east, and it's been a beautifully sunny day after the front came through. We thought we didn't have much to it. David, for your interest, came through about 5:30 this morning. Top gust was about 23 knots and about half an hour of rain. Over.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, it was pretty much the same here too, not too much rain, and well, the wind stayed with us pretty much all day. So 5:30 this morning it came through you guys with a top speed of 23 knots. You're currently at 3331 south, 17211 east on a course of 121 motoring at a very good 8.3 with that good current that keeps you going for a while. And so what's going to be the other wind is 6 to 7 knots from the west. So your ETA in Opua, over?
Yeah, hopefully we beat the after it, but I don't know if we will. I think early afternoon at Opua before dinner time, hopefully. Over.
Yep, indeed. Well, you'll certainly be in time for the cold beer at the bar at the club. So you could all meet up there. Hopefully you'll get in before customs shut down. Mind you, they are pretty swift at shutting down, aren't they, at about 4 o'clock. So anyway, just to give you a time check, don't forget we're on daylight saving, and it's now coming up 22 minutes to 7. 22 minutes to 7. All right. And you people have got lots of fish in the freezer too, so everyone is arriving with not too much of a problem for food. Okay, we'll clear with not tied down, and behind you is Sweetwater's Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, this is Sweetwater. Do you copy?
Yes, I do, Livia, and I hear your engine is on too. Go ahead.
So we are on 3001 south, 16953 east. Our course over ground 150 degrees true. Wind 1313 knots from north. Boat speed 6 to 7 knots. Motor sailing with 1 meter and long air from the east. Cloud cover 50%, 50%. Diameter 1020. And crew is happy. They wanted rugby in the morning. We tried to fish, but don't ask me how. We caught the wind generator, so we don't have power from the wind generator. Right now, but the AC is running, and we try to get to New Zealand as soon as possible. Over.
We're sitting here chuckling about the catching the wind generator and with no fish after that.
That's not funny.
No, it's not funny at all. Sweetwater's at 3001 south, 16953 east on a course of 150 true, 6 to 7 knots motor sailing. The wind is 13 knots from the north, 1 metre long period easterly swell, 50% cloud cover, and 1020. And yeah, well, if all things go like they are, what about the ETA? When will that be? Over.
Basically said it will be probably late hours of Wednesday, late hours of Wednesday. Over.
Okay, so pretty late on Wednesday. How does that sound, boss?
Well, I think you're going to be in for quite a bit of weather on Wednesday. I'm sorry to say. The frontal band that I talked about a few minutes ago is going to be over New Zealand, running almost due north at noontime roughly on Wednesday. And you could expect gusts easily up to 35 to 38 knots, 35 to 38 knots. And the sea is probably going to be 3 meters. So be ready for that. There'll be a lot of rain in this as well. So sorry to have to give you that news, but that, I'm afraid, is what it looks like. Over.
How about Wednesday? Morning, Wednesday morning, it feels bad, or if we make it to Mexico on Wednesday morning, is it still that bad, or no?
Wednesday morning, if they go into.
No, it's not going to make much of a difference at all. There's still going to be quite a bit of wind on either side of the axis of this frontal band. Models are all pretty much in agreement on this as well, unfortunately. The only option that you could think about, possibly, is just to delay getting in, kind of heaving to up where you are. I hate to say that because nobody likes to do it. But before I say that, for sure, I'm going to look just a little bit again. I'm going to give it back to Patricia just for a second to chat, and I'm going to look and see how fast this mess is going to pass you. So stand by.
Okay, yeah, that's a bit of it's not the way you want to finish off a passage, is it? With that sort of weather, just bad luck. Okay, so what I might do is give him a good time to have a study up the options here. I'll just have you stand by, Olivia and Stephen, and I'll go to...
No, I'm ready.
Oh, you are ready? Oh, well, you are swifty tonight. Hang on.
Yeah, it would possibly pay, looking at late Thursday into Friday, if you stayed about where you are now, just about where you are now, 30 south, maybe wandering down to, hold on, maybe getting down south as far as 33 degrees. So between where you are now and about 33 degrees south, if you hove to, that system, very slow moving, but the area of strong winds appear to be moving more to the east. The low is not moving to the east, but the area of fresh to very strong winds are moving to the east. So I think that might be something that you want to think about. Yeah, we'll know more tomorrow actually, because there's a little bit of a disagreement in the models. I think looking now a little bit more carefully, and I'm looking at 4 of them, but 3 of them think that might be a good idea. One of them is not so sure. So anyway, you're going fairly slow now, so we'll know a little bit more tomorrow regarding this. So give it some thought, and we'll talk tomorrow. Over.
Thank you, David. Yeah, we will keep going, and we wait for more news tomorrow, but at the moment, he said we are going to keep going.
Yep, that's a good idea. We'll talk again tomorrow and things might be a little clearer. No use getting worried before you have to. But give that some thought as an idea and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, we'll clear with Sweet Waters and go to Niall. You on frequency, over?
Go Harbour Radio, this is Roger over.
Well, it's a shame you missed that game. It was an absolute stunner, Carl, for both sides. It was just an amazing game. Both sides would be very happy. Unfortunately, there was only one winner, but boy, those last few minutes from your guys, they were absolutely amazing, over.
Yeah, congratulations to the All Blacks. Well done. It sounded like a great game. I was getting a glow by the little email account here. But I heard that we went over just before halftime. We went to the point of you. And then that ending, I could just imagine a camp on the line. Just hoping and hoping. But yeah, well done the All Blacks. We're watching replay and we get to see Caledonia. And looking forward to that. I just checked with you before I go to the board. You got me all right over?
Yes, I certainly did. And yeah, boy, it was a nail biter at the end. Go ahead.
Alright, so our position is 21507 East. Speed over ground, 4.5 up. Course over ground, 250 Wind east southeast. It's 12 to 16, this particular forecast we were expecting. 12 east southeast, 2 meters, 5, 4 over 8. Sparrow line production. I think it was 1019, but I'm not sure. Over.
That sounds about right. So, Brumbiel approaching the loyalties there. 2150 south, 16833 east. 4.5 knots on a course of 250 true with the east-southeast, 12 to 16, and quite a decent swell still from the east-southeast, 4/8 cloud and 1019. You'll be presumably going through Havana, and how long are you going to stay in Newcastle, over?
So I'm going to go to Havana tomorrow. I don't actually decided yet feedback on that. We were hoping to make the morning window, but now the wind looks like we'll be going after slack low tide around 2:30 local time. So without that, maybe it will give a little bit of that as well, coming from the east. You don't need advice on whether or not expecting issues there. We appreciate it. And you have the question, I'll go back to it now, over.
Roger that. Okay, well, it's no problem if you've worked out your tides going in there. You do need the tides going up from once you get into the lagoon to go on up to Noumea. So if it is against you, you might want to look at an anchorage on the way up. So apart from that, the winds are going to be fresh. So I'll pass the microphone.
Yeah, I looked at the French modeling for actually all of the French islands, and they're calling off east-northeast about 20 knots. That's a mean wind, not counting gusts. So at least it's a reasonable direction for you. And yeah, you would not want to be against the tide, that tide and current with those winds. So from that direction and an incoming tide, you'll be fine. And yet, plenty of places to stop. Port Boisé is our favorite. Just after you get in the pass to your right, there's a very good bay and a good anchorage. Over to you.
Great, thanks for that. Yeah, we had been intending on breaking the journey, so that, yeah, we can do it immediately. We're heading a bit further, hopefully to, sorry?
Proney.
Port Proney, or Proney or Proney, over.
Yeah, Proney is a good spot too, and more be well protected from that wind. So, yep, no problems going into Crony. It's on the route. As long as you stay on the route to Noumea, it's not a problem. Okay, well, it didn't used to be, and I'm sure it isn't now. So, all right, well, have a good entry. Just make sure you keep out of the right way of the fast speed ferry boats that whiz through the pass there. Keep your VHF on, and yep, and
Not
folks,
that they use it.
no, not that they use it, no. Folks going in there, if you run into any problems in New Caledonia, the VHF is very useful for Noumea radio. They speak good English, so just make sure you use it. And for those that, whilst I'm talking about it, you know that we had one boat, so Suhala had David on board, had a bit of an accident, but he's fine, went into Noumea. They got an ambulance to meet him, and he's cracked a rib, but other than that and a bit of other things associated with it, all is well, and he'll be back looking for a nice passage to New Zealand in a couple of weeks. All right, well, we'll clear with you, Carl, on board, and hello to Kaya, and we'll see now if we can find Tuaki, and whilst don't go leave the microphone, please, Carl, because I might need you to give them a call. Tuaki, Gulf Harbour. No, nothing heard there, so I won't get you to call. I think he's messed up the time. So I'll just see if there's anybody else on passage. There's a couple of people I want to do a radio check with, and anyone who is leaving this week, now's a good time to do a radio check. But Voyager 2, let's start with you. Voyager 2, Gulf Harbour Radio. Actually, I think I remember now an email coming to say that we're going to be on tonight. Narada, Gulf Harbour. Nothing heard there either. Is there anybody wanting to do a radio check? Please call now. Okay, all peaceful and quiet. So we will be back again tomorrow, folks. Hopefully it's going to be not as windy tomorrow for me. And we will wish you all a good night, especially for those boats at sea. Cheers, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio Clear. If you want the frequency to make contact with anyone, it is all yours.